Hey everybody, Alex Terrace, healthhacksreview.com. So today is another infrared sauna review day. So as you know, if you've been following me or maybe you've just seen my videos, I try to get out there and do as much objective research as I can on all the different infrared sauna brands on the market. Because frankly, at home, if you're watching this, it can be a little challenging to get out there and do all the research yourself. So that's why hundreds of people are usually trying to talk to me every single week, and you're welcome to right on my website. Anyways, I wanted to touch on, though, in this video, a very unique sauna that I think is worth checking out because it's so different. So right behind me, this is a basswood sauna, and of course, here's our glass door, but hold on a second. If we actually open this, what do we see here? We see actually a very large carbon emitter, okay? Now, currently, to my knowledge, there's no other sauna on the market that actually puts an emitter on the front of the sauna, dead center, and especially right on the glass door. So this is the first of its kind, very unique. And I want to point out that normally if you're sitting in an infrared sauna, traditionally there won't be any infrared going from the front of you. Now, some saunas do have some emitters on the front, but they're usually here, off to the sides, next to the door. And of course, if we're sitting right here, that's not directly in line, and it's not ideal. So we will sometimes see some thin carbon strips on the front, or carbon emitters on the front here, or sometimes we'll see some ceramics as well, but they're usually a little bit off center. So if you sit and you actually were able to compare and feel these different brands of sauna, generally you don't feel a lot of infrared exposure on your front side, and it's something you can clearly feel, the heat. And then I would also point out that some saunas have emitters on the front, but they're lower down in the sauna. So the effect of that is that the infrared mainly is coming more towards the front of your legs, which is just not as therapeutic as it could be if it was a little bit higher up, because this is where, the bulk of our body is, all of our core organs. So it's a great area to heat up, ideally, with infrared. So if you do have a glass door in the front, infrared does not actually bounce off the glass, as some companies are claiming. It actually it will not really reflect it back. What reflects really much better are things like gold foil or aluminum, things like that. But anyways, I also want to point out that if you have good grade of emitters that are highly emissive, that are putting out a really good wavelength, the other thing that's important is placement. So my goal, I think, therapeutically, is to absorb as much infrared as possible on as much of my body as possible. So in this particular design sauna, you have 360 degrees. You got it on the front side. I got it on my sides. I got it behind me. So that's a lot of coverage right there. I have it on the back of my legs. I have it underneath my feet. So that's a very large percentage of the body. Some saunas might cover you 45, 50, 60% less direct exposure. So the way that I look at that is, if we're talking about hyperthermia therapy, which is raising your core body temperature, frankly, getting more infrared on your body will more efficiently help you get your temperature up. So I like that kind of feature, to basically be surrounded as much as possible. Another unique feature, this is not too common, is actually lowering the emitters down the wall. Okay, so that's normally when you look at a carbon sauna out there, you'll generally see emitters that go up the wall, extremely common, maybe 90% of them have that. But going down the wall, if you think about it, makes logical sense, because where's my body, right? It's right here. And by the way, warming the head, a lot of people wonder, is that dangerous? No, it's not dangerous. Is it therapeutic? Not necessarily. The skull does a very good job of blocking out most of that infrared. It's not really going to go through to the brain. But bottom line is, this is where my body is. So this is the height of the emitters. Remember that your sauna only runs so much wattage from that outlet. So if we're going to concentrate that electricity and convert it to infrared, if you have actually less square inches, and they're concentrated lower down the wall, you're actually running more power through less emitter, which basically means you're getting a higher watt density from these emitters, thus a greater output of infrared, greater intensity. So I kind of like that design as well, versus spreading that wattage or that infrared out across more of these walls and areas where my body is not. Now, if I'm a very tall person, of course, I'll be up here maybe, but for the most part, everybody's going to be down here, okay? And another thing while I'm in here, I might as well just point out that this is kind of handy to have an L bench. Some people, they just don't have the financial budget to basically get a 3-person sauna or the size or the space requirements, but they still want to put their feet up. And I'm about 5'9", just so you all know. And so what's nice is with an L bench, you can actually just put this right into the corner of the sauna, and I can actually just get my feet right on it, and I'm really comfortable right here. And then I also have my backrest. I got an emitter on the back. I basically got that all saturated, and then on my front emitter. So here I am in a 2-person sauna, comfortable, and I'm 5'9". So just so you have a reference, because again, not everybody gets to sit in a sauna and actually try it. So I really like that sort of feature. It's simple, but it solves an issue, and you can be comfortable. Stretching my legs out this way just might be a little too narrow, because it is a 2-person sauna after all. Anyways, so that's all I wanted to touch on, and then I also wanted to point out that we'll go to my thermal camera right now, because I actually have an infrared camera going. So as you'll see, there's glowing sort of colors back here. That thermal camera I like to use for testing different sorts of saunas to see where that infrared distribution is. And if you see it glowing more towards the yellow gold spectrum, that just means it's actually, those are more heat emissive areas, they're hotter. But this camera, by the way, actually is measuring wavelength, so maximum micron range. So again, I like to have it so when I'm looking at different saunas, I can see where the infrared heat is mainly coming from. And then also furthermore, if I do a 20-30 minute session in a sauna and I come out of it and I'm looking at the camera right here, I can actually visibly see if there's some areas of my body that are basically going to be hotter, which is basically pointing out that I'm getting more infrared in those areas. So it's a really cool device that I found. Anyways, if you guys have any questions at all about the sauna or just different saunas out there, I treat everybody on a case-by-case basis. I try to match up the research and really find what's going to be best for you. Anyways, you can reach out to me on healthhacksreview.com. And if you like this video, found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up, and thanks for watching.